In the midst of prolonged tensions and halted negotiations, there appears to be a glimmer of hope in the Israel-Hamas ceasefire discussions, as Hamas adjusts its stance with a proposed temporary truce. Previously, the militant group had insisted on an inviolable ceasefire accompanied by the withdrawal of Israeli forces from Gaza. This non-negotiable demand was central to the impasse that prevented an accord before the holy month of Ramadan. However, the landscape of negotiations has shifted slightly, as evidenced by Hamas's recent proposal. The group is now considering an initial temporary ceasefire, which would pave the way for extended dialogue aimed at solidifying a lasting peace agreement. This new proposition seemingly aligns with the other mediators in the peace process. A breakthrough in the dialogue came subsequent to meetings between Hamas officials and Hezbollah leaders in Lebanon. Moreover, Qatar's influence on Hamas is reported to be significant, potentially catalyzing the group's softened position on the terms of the ceasefire. Despite this progress, a critical point of contention remains. During the proposed 6-week ceasefire, Hamas demands the release of a sweeping range of hostages, including women, children, the elderly, the wounded, and those they identify as female Israel Defense Forces, IDF recruits. If the ceasefire were to evolve into a permanent solution, Hamas expects the release of additional hostages. On the other side of the bargaining table, Hamas seeks the freedom of a substantial number of Palestinian prisoners from Israeli detention, with figures ranging from 700 to 1,000, some of whom are serving life sentences. Identifying which prisoners will be released is a source of ongoing debate. The latest developments have reached the office of the Israeli Prime Minister, with a source close to Benjamin Netanyahu indicating skepticism toward Hamas's demands, labeling them delusional. This sentiment has consistently punctuated the negotiation process, but does not rule out the possibility of constructive discussion. The Israeli government and protesters eager for the safe return of hostages may find parts of the Hamas proposal compelling, prompting the Israeli War Cabinet to convene and reassess the offer. Although initially appearing dismissive, the growing pressure may trigger a re-engagement in more substantive talks, potentially in Cairo or Qatar. Hints from Israeli government sources suggest a willingness to consider the prisoners' issue, hinting at potential grounds for negotiation. While differences persist, these new dynamics indicate a narrowing gap between both sides' positions. Israel's strategy of exerting military pressure on Hamas might be showing signs of efficacy. Nonetheless, any agreement reached will inevitably involve a degree of compromise. As Israel's leadership reviews the current landscape, the international community watches closely to see if this latest offer serves as a catalyst for renewed diplomacy or if the standoff will continue.